all right. So, Ferry, what's your name? Wrong guy. What's your name?
Uh, my name is Mohammed.
Your name is what?
Mohammed.
Oh, Mohammed. Okay, cool. So you said all your trades hit your stops. Like when did this happen? Like last week or today?
Yeah, no, it was last week.
Oh,
Yeah, it was last
that
week.
would hurt, right? That would really hurt. That would really hurt. And yes, there has been so much chaos in the past few days. Like you said, mainly because of the tariffs that Trump placed on I think about 54 countries. So it's been crazy. And yes, so many persons have been blowing accounts, portfolios have been taking huge drawdowns. Smaller persons have been liquidated. It's been yes, so much chaos. I understand. Um, but now let's dive into the market, right? Um, let's see. So let me quickly update the live. Then we'll dive into the market and let's see. All right. So let me quickly share my screen now. Let's see. Okay. All right. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can see.
All right. Cool. So yeah, let's dive in. What has happened in the past few days? Now, of course, in our last session on Thursday, we kind of looked at the chart. But at the time, the market was like jumping, right? So many pairs were taking dump. And on Friday, yes, the dump continued. Now the JPYs. Of course, like I said, the market is moving based on sentiment, right? And the sentiment right now is that things are very uncertain. I mean, the trade wars going on between these countries are very uncertain. And like I said, some currencies, the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc, in most cases the US dollar, and in some cases gold, they tend to be safe haven assets. And the Japanese yen has done that pretty well because we can see that the Japanese yen has gained so much strength. Now again, it's like the market is ignoring the data, right? Like the macro, right, fundamentals, and it's just moving based on sentiment. So it's like it's ignoring everything and just focus on the fact that there is so much uncertainty with these trade wars and back and forth that comes with it. So we're seeing that the Japanese yen is gaining strength, and that's why we're seeing Australian dollar taking the hit. Now, also, China was hit so bad with the tariffs, right? I think they had like a 54% tariff. I think that's what Trump placed on China. And the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar are like beneficiaries from China. So since China was affected, AUD and NZD were also affected. That's why when you go to the chart, you see that the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar are very weak, extremely weak, because they took a big hit from the adverse effects that came from the tariff. So again, you can see that the Japanese yen is strong, and then the Australian dollar is very weak. That's why you see jump just continue to the downside. Now, interesting price action on these pairs. I'd like to see what happens here at key level. First of all, I want to allow the market to come down first before reanalyzing or looking at what to do with these pairs. But for now, we're just watching how prices reacting to key levels and seeing what will happen in the next few days. That's for AJ. Cat J is still not so different. I mean, Cat JPY still maintaining support. CTF JPY is actually pushing because, of course, the Swiss franc is a safe haven. So we can see the Swiss franc being ahead of the Japanese yen in this scenario. The EJ is just there pretty much. I still need a breakout to look for a trade opportunity. Pound GPY. Now this guy almost stopped out today, right? I've been long, and that brings me to what I said in our previous session. So you see, Good evening. I think you're there. I think you had buys on pound GPY somewhere around these levels, right? Yusuf, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was referring to Yusuf. I think I don't know if he's here. I think he's here with us. He is, but I don't know if he's very active to speak. Now, the reason why I'm referring to him is because he had buys like somewhere around this level, and at the time he was here. So it was a question of, are we going to see upside confirmations at that point? At the time, yes, but of course now with the whole tariff thing coming into play, these analyses are slightly altered. And this is what I was trying to say about personally the fact that I personally love to take the trades at key levels, because even though even though your overall idea might be correct, by taking trades that are not at the key level, you open yourself to some losses, right? Even though the overall idea is correct. You get it. So that's why we had it done from here. Of course, the tariffs. I mean, there's so much chaos, like you said, and now price came down to this level. I don't know if this level will hold. We'll just have to see, right? But if it doesn't, then I'll most likely take a loss.
Yeah, Katie, I'm here. Sorry, I was not able to access my microphone. I just set it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, all right, cool. I like to think that GG stopped out, right?
Yes, I actually took a loss on that, but like you said, I was expecting that price can actually come down here, so I took like half percentage of risk. So as soon as price dropped to that main level, I took another 0.5%. Normally, if it's from the key level, I use 1% risk. So, but because I'm taking it from that daily level, I use 0.5. But right now, I'm back into the trade with 0.5% risk. So I'm hoping that it will
Oh,
work out this time.
interesting. Okay, now I get it. So 0.5% here. Okay, yeah, pretty solid risk management. And now 0.5% here. So that just in case the idea doesn't play out, you're going to lose just 1%. Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. That makes sense. So it's a matter of if this level would hold as support. So we'll see, right? Let's see. It almost stopped me out. Like it kind of there was a gap, right? So the market gapped down, and it almost stopped me out. But like it's back at the level. So it's a question of what will happen in the next few days. NZGPY as well. So there was a retest here, and yeah, the retest did work out in favor of Japanese yen. And of course, like we said, the New Zealand dollar is so weak. AUD and NZD, these are very weak currencies at the moment. That's why we dumped down to the key level. Yes, but like we said, very interesting price action, and is now to see what happens at these levels that price has gotten to. And yeah, we'll take it from there. USDJPY broke below the key level. Sorry, yeah, the weekly support level, but might break back above soon and continue the trend. This is all about the market accepting the tariffs, and we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. Patience is very important. Now, interestingly, on Friday, 3 trade ideas hit take profit, right? Which was insane. That's quite good, right? 3 trade ideas hit take profit. And now it was so crazy because I wasn't at home at the time and I was out. But then I have alerts at like these levels, and at some point that's been like just going on. And I was like, okay, like what's happening? So I had to go on to TradingView and check what was going on. And I checked and I saw that most of these pairs were like hit to take profit. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? And then you look at some of these how far these pairs have moved. You see some of these pairs have been like minus 5%. Now it is so crazy because most of these FX pairs don't move 5% in a day. You get like it might take months, it could take 3-4 months. Sometimes in a year, a particular currency pair has not even moved 5%. So it was so crazy to see that. Now Friday was it was just too much. So 80 card hit take profit on Friday, which was insane. And think about this, right? We spoke about this guy for so long, right? I took a sell in November, like that was a long time ago. In fact, the day I took the sell position was the day of the election, the US elections, right? So I think it was the morning of the election on November 6th, and that's when I sold. So I sold then, and it pushed into profit, pulled back, and broke below this level, like I said. But we didn't have even the best retails because, of course, they don't, right? And think about this, right? It took just one day for price to move from here, right? So from being up 1% to hitting take profit in a day. So that's what I said. This just goes to show what I said about being patient and being disciplined, and then just taking the trades without having to force when the trade might play out. You get, because here, right here, it took one extra day for price to move from being up 1% to hitting take profit at 2.9%. Insane, right? So yeah, 80 card hit take profit, which is cool. I don't know if any of you here sold 80 card.
Yeah, I think I told you about this. I took it from the daily zone last week or so. We discussed about it last week. Yeah, from that daily zone I
Yeah,
took my entry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Okay, true. That's
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
nice
I
idea.
also sold. I also sold. Uh, yeah, I
okay.
hit my TP on it.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So George sold. Yusuf sold. Okay. Quite good. Quite good. Must feel nice, right? Must feel really nice. To see this hit take profit. Now it's of course dropping to the downside, like I said. Right. The market is moving based on sentiment. They're going to extend my take profit because that's what I was looking for, right? And it did. And actually, I not set my TP on 80 card, right? On my accounts, like on 80 card, 80 USD. I don't set my take profit. So I closed like much hard, like much lower than the take profit you get. But I'm just using this like this is what I called out. That's why I'm recording this manner. Oh yeah, played out 80 card. So far so good. Euro card is back above the key level. Let's see. Okay, so still just above the key level. I think we need like a solid breakout on Euro card, and then I'll look for a retest to continue buying. But so far that's not really happening. So we'll see how April closes, right? For Euro card, let's see how that happens. Now Carlos, I remember that you had plans to sell Euro card on this retest. Carlos, are you here?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I think I said you had plans to sell Euro card at this level, this retest.
Um, Actually, I was having two buyers on Eurocard. I actually took two losses on Eurocard like in a couple of days, and that was what actually made my buyers on Eurocard to change. Which I made mention of having a particular system that I take reversal, but it's not a retest of this 0.55. In the system I'm talking about, where I'm actually having my zone is at this candle close, the two bullish and bearish candle close, like the very last high that it created here on top there. So that's where I had exactly. So that's where that's where
Oh,
actually yes, exactly. So in that
okay.
system, I do take reversals, but as I can see, price didn't come to that zone for me to take the reversal trade. But
Okay, yeah.
I'm looking at going long on Eurocard, but that won't be long term. I'm targeting coming out like taking profit at that zone. Yeah, so that's actually my current bias on Eurocard.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I just remembered. Yeah, this was the level you're looking at selling from. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's very true. All right. So yeah, but same thing like we said. Price is still like at a key level, right? So personally, I would need a breakout. I'm gonna pull back to look for longs. GBP card is it's been affected now today for some reason. Um, the pound has lost so much momentum. I'm not sure why. I haven't really checked because I didn't really see any important news today. But the pound is just taking a hit, and that's why pound JPY kind of suffered a bit, and pound card as well. Now this trade is pulling back, which means I was up about 4.6% at some point, and now I'm back towards 1.4%. So I've seen a pretty decent pullback on pound card. Now this doesn't change my overall perspective because I expect the market to still find higher low somewhere and continue the overall trend. But this just shows that, of course, my portfolio has been affected slightly. Now I'm still up about 6%, like in running trades, almost 6%. But yeah, I think this was at the high. I'll be so much more higher than that. But yeah, that's okay. That's fine. So yeah, this is pound card, and we'll see. I think we were looking at this retest before now, so it's just a matter of time. Let's see if price would maintain this level of support and continue to be upside. We'll find out in the next few days. NZD card is of course dropping to the downside. Now we hit this level before now, broke above, we've broken below it now, but we didn't have the best opportunity for a retest. It was only like a 4-hour retest here, not like a daily retest like we saw at first. But my original positions here are still running, so I am well in profit on NZD card. And again, just go through, right? Just being patient. Now I mentioned that I was pretty late on this entry, right? I was supposed to sell here at this point, like my entry was supposed to look like this, right? But at the time I had mixed up the key level, which means I should have been making much more on NZD card. By the time I had mixed up my key levels, and I got in pretty late, so I sold in October of 2024. But yeah, that's okay, and I'm in profit, right? So I think that's pretty much all that matters. USD card. I posted this on it. All right. Sorry guys, I had a call. That was a very good transmission. So, can you guys still hear me? Just making sure.
Yes.
Hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So, USD card, we expected a pullback, which we did have. We got, but it just missed the level by a bit. And this is what I'm looking for. I want the retest, right? Remember, prices come down to the level and find support at the level. And so far we've not had that. So I like to think that we just might have this dip to continue. But if we don't, then I don't think I would get involved with US card. UAD.
Sorry,
Now this
sorry,
guy is yes, Carlos.
Yeah, please, before I forget, last session I wanted to ask the question on USD card, but I think I forgot and I have to remember after the session. I was about asking, looking at USD card on the monthly perspective, so I get to see if the entry pattern is already it's already set and you are now waiting for the retest.
It is it broke out in December. So yep.
Oh, okay, no problem. I can see. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, for pairs like this, it would be, of course, said because look at when it broke out, right? I think we come to the market to cross check, especially when we had the breakout like the previous month just to show. But since we broke out in December, of course, then it would almost always be that pattern set. But yeah, that's about it for this card. Now, Euro 80 is crazy. Now, I don't like what this pair did because now this guy moved 1,500 pips in less than a month. 1,500 pips in less than a month. Because we broke out here, and remember, we were looking for this pullback to buy. Like we this is the move we're looking for, right? But we needed the pullback. We needed to buy at the key level. But then look at this. The guy just broke out, stalled for a bit, and just took off. Now, of course, it was because, like we said, Australian dollar is very weak, right? So that just aided the move to the upside. But still, was like, come on, this is a whole move from one key level to the other, and we did not have any entry whatsoever. No, that's crazy. I didn't want to look at the pay like quite frankly, but yeah, either way, Euro 80 is on fire. The move was cold. We saw this coming, but we hoped, or I hoped, that we get an entry before the move completes. But yeah, so far so good. Your NZD on the other hand has broken out. So interesting. Now I don't have to beg this guy to pull back and not run to the next key level without giving us an entry, right? So let's see. I hope to get a pullback and then to buy. But yeah, this is the next key level inside. It's not so far out right now that we see, especially since the market is moving so fast. So, but hopefully we get this pullback, and I'd love to buy it. So, pound AUD as well, crazy, right? Just moving to the upside. Now we have the breakouts. Now we need to hope that we get a pullback. I don't know. We're going to get that. I'm not sure, but let's see, right? Let's see. If we get a pullback, I'd love to buy. Now these are juicy opportunities, right? We can only hope that we get them this year if they do set up, right? Euro NZD, pound AUD. I'm already on pound NZD, right? As you guys know, I bought on this break and retest, and so far we're in profit. But yeah, Euro NZD, pound AUD, USD card. All right, USD card. What else? These are the pairs that have already broken out their levels. I'm pulling back for a retest. So EG has not broken out. Kaja has not broken out. Most of these pairs are not broken out, but like these three so far look very good. So it's a matter of are we going to get that retest. AD USD as well, right? Interesting. So AD USD also played out, and this is what I said when I meant that I had not set my take profit yet, because I had my take profit at 0.61, yes, but I had not dropped input on my account. So when the levels were going up, when I came to close them out, they were already like down here. But either way, is much more better for me. But yeah, AUD hit take profit just like we said, and I took this sale on the same day I sold AUD card, right? So in November, way back in November, and we just rallied to the downside. Now we came here at first, but of course I explained that I missed the key level, so I pulled back. I told you guys that I was going to set the same level, right? And I wasn't. It's not like there was a guarantee that price was going to hit take profit, but it was like, I mean, we're in a downtrend, so it most likely we're going to continue to the downside. And this is where I want to take my profit. I wouldn't want to take my profits like here, right? So that's why I kept my TP here, and here we smashed. So AD card hit take profit here, ADUSD hit take profit here, so twice. And I think we're coming down to card THF, but before we get there, we have Euro USD. So not much of a difference since Thursday, right? So not much to say here. Pound USD pulling back. Interesting price action on pound USD. Now we'll see what happens. Okay, we'll see what happens with this retest 1.27. We'll see what happens with this retest, and if the market would want to continue to the upside, or if this is like a pullback to the downside. Now the market is right now, I would say, is in some sort of range. So the daily time frame is trying to figure himself out, and let's see. So again, right, this is the level I'm looking at. Now we didn't test the key level, right? So I'm going to keep my eyes out for pound USD here. If we don't swing around and continue this this trend, then we might just roll over to the downside. Yeah, let's see. Only time can tell. Okay.
Okay, so
I can hear you.
Okay, so currently, are you interested in the retest of 0.27, or you are expecting a break inside the 0.27? Then maybe the buyers actually had earlier on when it was testing 0.27 that you will need it to break above, then come back to break in before you go short. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
this is what I'm looking
Is
for
that
actually, right?
okay? Okay,
Yeah, this is what I'm
okay,
looking. This is what I'm looking for because, like we said, we had the this move to the downside. We hit the key level. Right? We came here. I was going to sell this, right? Like I told you guys, I needed the manipulation to happen. So we've broken above. The question is, can we smash through and get another retest? That's the question. If we do get it, fantastic. And also, coupled with the current sentiment in the market, that's what I'm waiting to see. Right? I just want to see how that would play out. So, yeah. So let's see. And then ended USD as well. Now we're back at the key level. This is a missed trade, like I said, because missed the entry way up here in September. But yeah, that's in the past. But yeah, fine move. We're back here. Now we might break out. If we do break out, voila, good for us. So 80 USD is slightly breaking out. I'm hoping that ended USD does the same. And if that happens, then of course these are more opportunities, right? And like I said, this is what we're looking for, right? The more opportunities we get, the better for us. We get to make more money. Um, that's it. Now the Swiss franc pairs, crazy. 80 CHF. Now this dump, I have to be honest. The dump on the CHF pairs is actually pissing me off because I didn't get, I couldn't get my entries like 80 CHF and NZD CHF. I couldn't get my entries, so I'm not exactly happy about it. But I mean, it's not like I can do anything about it. But yeah, we don't, and we're looking for this, right? This is what we're looking for. But our entry was not just present. That's the difference. So rally dump here, cut CHF dump as well, right? And I close my trades here. So I'm going to explain why I took profits here, because in this case there's no key level, right? So I'm going to explain why I took profits here. Now, calculating the previous move, okay, calculating the previous move to the downside. Now, this is like the swing, okay, and from the swing I have to draw the fib, right? So draw the fib, we had a pullback to these levels. So, like I told you guys, when there's no key level inside, I use fib extensions to take profits. You get what that means is if I sold here in 2023, right? If I sold here, then in most likely I would look to take profit as an extension, right? Um, here now, also another thing you have to look at is if, for example, this fib to sorry, can you guys hear me? My network was almost out. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, I think you guys can hear me now. So just like I was saying, right? We have the move to the downside, and because there's no key level in sight, okay, I would want to take profit here to get. So if I was selling on this pullback, right, I would want to take profits down here, either at the 50% or in between these levels. That's where I want to take profit. So when I'm taking a new entry, I in most cases will keep this in mind. You get, I would keep this extension in mind as I'm taking my trades because I expect that the market might pull back. It's not a guarantee, you get, but the market might pull back from these levels. Okay, so that's why when we completed the move to the downside, I just profit here at 2.7% because the market was already down here at the time. So I just took my profit here at once. Now this guy can extend to the downside, because if you decide to draw a fib like this, then this guy can as well continue to downside. It's possible, not denying that. But I'm going to use this since this was the previous one that I was looking out for. So I'm going to use this as a reason to take my take profit off. And the market can roll over if it wants to. That's fine. But that's why I took profits at this point. So again, you see that these decisions are always based on stats, right? Stats, data, and the edge. The system, not changing it. Now I can decide to hold it because I want more, but I'm not doing that because I'm trying to take the trades according to the plan. Okay, taking the trades, yeah, according to the system, the way it was designed to get. That's why I closed up here. So yeah, that's about it. And so this also happened on Friday, right? So that's why I said 3 trade ideas played out on the same day, which is crazy. That's not happened like in such a long time in my career, such a long time. So, but yeah, I'm guessing it's good for us. So moving on, Euro CHF took a dump. Of course, the Swiss franc pairs are going to dump. The Swiss franc is a safe haven at the moment. Pound CHF also took a dump. Crazy, right? Crazy. Just fell off a cliff. NZ is CHF. Same thing, right? Like the same fate with ADCHF, right? So it dumped without giving me like the opportunity to get involved. Now, mind you, I sold here in October, all right? Sold here, got stopped out, and then it dumped. But then I was looking for the opportunity to get involved the second time, but unfortunately, I did not see that. Let's see. Nah, this is crazy. Now, I may have decided to just re-enter, right? Because I quite frankly was taken out by like a pip when I sold. I think it was like just a whisker away. So I may have decided to like just get in for the second time, like just re-enter the trade. But I was like, okay, fine, we might get a retest, like another retest. So yeah, missed it, right? But this is a fine trade. And yeah, we called this out too, right? We set this up. We're looking for the downside move. We got it. The only difference was we were taken out. That's it. But yeah, so far so good. And then USD I took a loss here. Looking for the police continuations. The dollar dumped massively off of the initial reaction to the tariff news, which made this trade stop out on Thursday. But yeah, so far so good. I might get the opportunity a second time and yeah, see how that happens. And like I said, there might be some adjustments to the trend. So I just want the market to calm down a bit and see what is going on. Like the market needs to calm down first, okay? Because this tariff things could change and alter trends. Could break. A lot of things can happen. So I'm not just trying to like rush the analysis, trying to just allow things to play out. That's why I said we'll play these things ear by ear. So just slowly and see where we go. So that's about it for the currencies. So I don't know if you guys have any questions on.
Sorry, I ask a quick question.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, for your USD CHM currently on, in the past, that was the previous. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, the previous move, when price came to this key level that you took your buy trade, it kept on going down to the downside. So what's your psychology behind this trade? Like, why are you taking a buy trade at this key level when previously it didn't respect the key level and it went all the way down to the support level, the next support level? I don't know if you get the question.
Yeah, I do. So here's the thing, right? It doesn't matter what happened at the key level before now. Like it's not like it doesn't, but if price breaks a level, right? It would not stop me from taking an opportunity on that level the next time, right? I'm not going to use the previous result to judge what will happen on the next idea. You get. So because this happened, it would not stop me from trying to get this. Do you understand? But if you do that, you would miss opportunities, right? Because you could see a retest, but then you want to. What that means is you're trying to predict the outcome of this move with the result of this move, and these are two distinct moves, right? this happened in 2024, this happened in 2025, different market conditions. So you don't want to do this, right? That's why you just have to take trades. Yeah, that would mean hesitating or trying to you're trying to judge the outcome of the trade before it even happens. You get, so that's not what I would do. I'll just take the trade, man. Exactly how it's planned. I'll take it. So if it stops out here, that's 1%. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay, Cassie.
Um,
The question I have is like market sentiment and price action. Like could it be? It will be the same thing because I was looking at the JPY basket and the Japanese futures. I was thinking. So if the market sentiment is there, it's like it's going in the same direction of the Japanese basket. So is it that it could be the same thing or what? I don't know. Whether you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I get what you're trying to say. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Market sentiment is how people feel or traders feel in the moment, right? And it could, right? Like how do I explain this now? Because what you're trying to say is, it feels like market sentiments are in line with price action, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
And yes, you are correct. You are correct to an extent because market sentiments can be in line with price action in some cases, and in other cases, not really. You get, because what example would I use now? So pound card, for example, right? Sentiments right now are not in favor of the pound. You get, so we're dumping. So sentiments right now are not in favor of the trend or what we're looking at. I think that makes sense. So, but for the Japanese yen, let's go back to that. But the Japanese yen is strong in itself, right? It is strong. We cannot deny that. Okay, and right now, Japanese yen is also a safe haven. That's like giving it more strength. But then, like I said before, the actual economy, right? The actual economy is not so good, right? It's not so good, and so the effect of the data that comes out of Japan is not reflected on the chart yet. I think that makes sense. So what is now driving price is sentiment. So that's where the sentiments come in. Because think about this, right? If, for example, the sentiments change, and that's one thing with sentiment, they can always change, right? It just takes one thing. I'll give you another example in a minute. But it just takes one thing to happen in the market, and then boom, there's either so much greed, or there's so much fear, there's so much panic, right? So you can see already what's going on with the tariffs. So sentiments can change, okay? But then in some cases, they can align with the price action you're looking at. Because AD card, for example, that played out, the sentiments right now in favor, right? And it played out, you get. But for the Japanese yen, where's the GXY? The sentiment is also in favor of the Japanese yen at the moment, you get. So that's why you're seeing this. But now the question you might want to ask next is, okay, so what am I going to do? Do I wait for the sentiments to change, or do I go ahead and buy the Japanese yen or sell XSX JPY pairs? That's the question you might ask. And like I said, only time can tell, because now we're at key levels. So if they begin to break these key levels, you're like, okay, fine. And then we also begin to look at what's going on in the market, right? Are these prices moving because of just the strength from the JPY? Because if we go back to the Japanese, the JPY pairs, right? AJ, NJ are like the currencies that are suffering the most. And the reason is not just because of the Japanese yen strength, but also because the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar are both weak. You get. So the fact that ADJPY is trending to the downside is not just the JPY. Right? In fact, the dump we had on Friday and today is because of the Australian dollar, not really Japanese yen. Because you can see that Japanese yen is still lagging against CAD JPY, CHF JPY, and EJ. You get. So it is gaining much more strength against the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. I think that makes sense.
Okay. All right, I understand. Thank you. So, which means that the the pair against it would determine the strength of the JPY like currency, not that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So the strength is relative. I don't know if that makes sense. The strength is relative. So
Yeah.
a currency pair can be stronger. Like let me which example do I use here now? Um let's see. Let's okay, cool. Now look at this. Look at EJ, right? EJ is up 0.30%, right? 0.3%. So the euro is stronger than the Japanese yen today. You get, but if you come down to euro card, you're seeing minus 25, 0.25%, which means the euro is weaker against the Canadian dollar. So is the euro strong? Is relative. The answer to that question is relative. The question is, what currency are you pairing euro with? That's what will determine if it is strong or not. You get. Now, same thing. The euro is up against the Japanese yen with 0.3%, but the euro is up against the New Zealand dollar with 0.8%. What that tells you is, even though the euro is stronger than the Japanese yen, it is much more stronger than the New Zealand dollar because the New Zealand dollar is weak. It is very weak. I think that makes sense, right? So that helps you understand exactly. That helps you understand the currency strength and how it works. So it's not necessarily fixed. I think it's only when you see a currency stronger than every other currency on the block, that's when you're like, okay, yeah, the strength is universal. But in some cases, the strength is relative. You get. So I think that's a better way to explain it, right?
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
So
So, in addition to that, Casey, I'd love to know because I think what's being talked about now, I think that has to do with fundamentals, right?
sorry, I didn't quite get you. Come again.
I said the points that George raised and that you tried to explain. I was asking that have to do with fundamentals, right?
Yeah, to an extent. But here's the thing, right? Sentiments are not exactly the same thing as fundamentals, right? Not really. You get. Sentiment is mainly about how traders feel, how people feel in the moment, right? That's sentiment. And sometimes the market can ignore fundamental data. Sometimes. That's why I said it depends on what is happening. It depends on what the theme of the market is at the time. So right now, the theme, the whole focus of the market is tariffs. So what happens is any data that comes out, like CPI or let's say retail sales, unemployment data, may not really have so much impact on the market. Why? Because the focus is on tariffs. So I think what is driving the market in the last few days is the effect of tariffs, not really the data that comes out. So we just have to know the theme of the market at the time, the cycle in which we're trading, and that helps us understand the sentiments better. You get. So yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good. But I think it's not something that you know you would like. Yes, I know it's something that one needs to consider, like considering the market sentiment. But I was actually confused if like getting to see or have a setup then because of market sentiment, and you are like, oh, okay, this is the market sentiment at this point, and that's to say that your TA is actually not in line with the sentiment. So at that particular scenario, what can one do? That's my question. Would you go ahead to follow your TA, or you just for the fact that not in line with the sentiment, then you can just like say, okay, let's just do this for now.
Okay. Yeah. Fine question. So I'd like to think that it depends on how your system is built, right? For example, if your system is built as a technical system, um, personally, right, it doesn't really matter what the market condition is. I'll take my trades because I, the way my system is built, it can kind of fit into any market condition. But I think where it's more of a case study is if you're like a day trader, like if you're looking at lower time frames. then it might matter to like look at the sentiment. But then it still depends on how your system is built. Because if you build your system, if you build a rock solid system without using sentiment, like you just built it off the chart of maybe key levels or the higher time frames or anything like that, then you want to keep trading the way you used to. Unless there's a serious breakdown in the market, that's when you can have an adverse effect. But aside that, you want to trade your system how you would, because you see the variables you used to look for a trade that made the system to be what it is today. Maybe you were using sentiments at the time. So if you begin to look for sentiment in every trade idea you take now, it might begin to alter your trading results. Because when you were setting up the system, you didn't need sentiment. I don't know if that makes sense. So it just matters. It depends on how you trade, the time frames you're trading, and how your system is built. Okay, so I think this is what you need. But if you do not really use sentiments when you're creating your system, then in most cases you have to just follow your system the way it is. Then I think if you have maybe a breakdown, maybe a series of losses that is so bad that it begins to affect your performance, then you might not start to look at that variable sentiment if it affects your P&L. You get, but personally, it doesn't affect mine. So that's why it's like not like it doesn't affect mine. Like it doesn't really matter what the sentiment is doing, because, for example, AD card and NZD card and card teacher, they're all in my favor. You get, so it doesn't really matter because my system would like hit half of the sentiment, if that makes sense. But not all systems can do that. You get, not all systems can do that, and that's why it will be difficult to use TA in these times. Like I've seen some traders who are taking losses. Their TA is not really working out because price just smashing through levels like it wasn't there. Now fundamentals and sentiments are ruling. You get, so TA might be lagging. But then if we come back to the system I use, it's more like a universal system, because even though prices are falling, they still respect key levels. You get, and if prices are falling, if the market was trending to the downside, I would make money off the fall, right? And if the market is trending to the upside, I will not buy until the fall has gotten to a key level. So it's like the way my system is built, I can manage myself, I can survive in any market condition I find myself, but not all systems can do that. So I think it just depends. There's no fixed answer to that question. If that makes sense.
Of course, it does make sense. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, I don't really want to talk about indices because they're all dumping. Like, there's not much to say. They're dumping really hard, really, really hard. Exactly, right? So every chart you open, that's what you see. Now, there's a system I'm working on that actually can hedge, right? But that's not something I want to talk much about right now. But there's a system I'm working on that can allow you hedge against the trend, but only on certain conditions, only in certain conditions, right? But that's about it. Like, for example, all of these drops we're seeing, that system will be able to catch these drops, which is cool. But again, I'm still testing things, so I'm not really trying to bring that to the public just yet. But yeah, everything is dumping. The S&P, France 40, the German index, everything basically. And this is why I said before now that I wasn't in a rush to buy any of these guys, right? Because I did not want to buy the top. I wanted this dump. I wanted to dump because now we're going to have opportunities to buy. And I like to think that the dump is not finished. I like to think that the price has more room to the downside, at least to test this guy. That's what I think price should do. So let's see. I think the Nasdaq as well also dumped hard. These guys are dumping, right? Everything basically. Everything. I had an alert set here, right? Just in case the market came down here. But nah, what is this? Crazy. What? Now think about this. This was hold up. Let's see. Now actually this is just between Friday and today. Like this dump is just between Friday and today. This. So the market has cleared out. The market has cleared out a move that took month. This move took from March until May. A move that took 3 months. In fact, a move that took, look at this. It took March until March. That's about 13 months, right? The market moved 16%. This is the UK 100. That's the FTSE, as it's been called. This market moved 16% in 13 months, but dumped this hard in less than a month, or just say in about a month. That's crazy. Now, this is the same kind of thing that the JPY, the Japanese yen, did last year when, let's see, yeah, something like this, right? So it took this long for the market to move from here up until here, but it took less than 3 weeks for this drop to happen. So something similar is what is happening with these guys. So I love the dump. I'm happy about the dump. Like, so this would give us opportunities, but of course the market needs to settle in, and we need to be sure that this is not the end. And I think we need to start looking at the key levels and how the market will react to this. So there's just so much to look out for, but we have to be careful because these are loads of opportunities, but we have to be careful and take our time to make sure we know what we're doing and don't get caught up if the dump is to continue. So yeah, that's about it for indices. Gold is pulling back. I like to think that this is the high. I think we're going to come down to some of these levels pretty soon. So yeah, let's see what happens. Now, some person will ask, why is gold pulling back in such market conditions? Because if things are uncertain, then gold should be moving even higher. Now, there's this article I read in recent times that, in some situations when there's so much uncertainty, you see portfolio managers, hedge funds, institutions try to sell off some of their profits from some other assets to cover for the pullback. So say some of these hedge funds or institutions are long on most of these assets, right? These indices, they might have to look for a way to sell off some of their profits to cover, to keep their portfolio alive. Like, I read an article that could be one of the reasons why we see this happen, because I think this happened in the crash in '08 and I think in COVID as well. So yeah, but yeah, gold is pulling back. That's about it. So I like to think that we'll have a bit more drop before looking out for maybe bullish opportunities. I like to think that gold will drop like pretty hard. So you see, copper, I'm not really interested at the moment. We dumped. Platinum, I'm not really interested at the moment. We dumped. Silver, we dumped as well, right from key level. And again, there's not a coincidence that the markets would most likely react from key levels. So yeah, this is the most I have for
That's it, please. Yeah, I want to ask. So, Japan 225 and Japanese index, like it's totally different, right?
Yeah, it is. It's different, of course.
Okay.
Different. Now this is the Japanese, the JP225. It's called the Nikkei, right? So it is different, right? This is for mostly the stocks in Japan, and the Japanese index is for the currency or index itself. So they're different. They are different.
Yes, please, can you move over to that, please?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
That level that it's about to test, like currently, the I think somewhere around 2,900 something like that. Yeah. So maybe you should look at the monthly time frame. Okay.
So here's monthly.
Okay.
What?
Okay. Okay. How about the weekly time frame? Okay, that's actually why I'm looking at that level, because I can remember I'm not really interested in gold, but I think I'm having some level around this um 29 something 2900. So I can see it's coming from the weekly. I was actually thinking personally that it was a monthly zone, but I've seen that it's actually a weekly zone.
Yep. So it is not a money zone. I have no interest in buying gold that price. If I was going to buy gold here, I'd have done so here as well. Okay, but I didn't. Uh, so that's about
All
it.
right, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'll just move over to this track record for a bit. Let's just see how we're looking this year, and so far so good. I like to think we're doing really well. But let's just push check. So I'll adjust my screen now and share that to you. All right, so okay, so we are up 37% from January to 24, right? So pretty interesting. I think we have about 16 months worth of data so far on this record, which is good. But pretty interesting is this year's return. We're up 14.2%, which is pretty incredible. I'd say, right? Pretty incredible. April just started, so like it just over 3 months, we're doing 14%. Now I don't have any set target from here, but I like anywhere between 25 and 40%. Right? If I average that, I love that. Now I'm mostly concerned about the drawdown, right? That's the biggest aspect of my portfolio. I don't want to have a big drawdown, a huge swing in my drawdown. So I'm mostly focused on that. So, but then if I can keep my drawdown as minimal as it is, which is insane, and at the same time achieve such returns, 25 to 40%, even more, then that's crazy because it's not really about the returns you get; it's about the returns over your drawdown. Understand? And so far, we're fantastic, all good. But now, this is not to say, right? This is not to say that because we're up 14% in the first 3 months, or in the first about 4 months, that we're gonna have the best year ever. Maybe not, but it does go to show that we're on progress, right? We're on track, and that's good. Now, it doesn't also mean that quarter two, quarter three, quarter four would have similar returns, right? That's what I'm trying to help you guys understand. It just depends on market conditions, right? I'm really grateful for the market conditions we're having so far. I'm insanely happy, right? Because it's ridiculous and it's good for our portfolios. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will always continue. But it just might. Let's just see, right? Let's just see. But so far, so good. 3 losses this year and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. So we're doing really good. Now, one thing I'd like to highlight is 14%. Now, personally, I like to average 2 to 3% per month, right, on average. And if I'm going by 2 to 3%, this is actually a 5 to 7 month return. So what this means is I'm supposed to be having this return around May or July, right? Somewhere around July, basically. I'm supposed to be having this return. But we're having that in April, which is good. But yeah, just about seeing if we can keep up the pace and if the market conditions would allow us to keep up the pace. So far so good. Now another thing I pointed out to you guys is when some of the adjustments, the very important adjustments started to take effect was in October, right? So I've been making these adjustments for quite some time, but because these are swing trades, they take time to adjust, and the main adjustment started to kick in October. Now look at the difference. Okay, since October, I'm up 21%, right? So that's about 6, 7 months, right? Since October. So 21% in 6, 7 months. That's crazy. That's good, right? That's really good. Considering that All right, guys. Sorry, just give me a minute, okay? Because hold up, please. All right. Sorry for the mix-up and that delay as well. Let me quickly share my screen once again and go back to what I was discussing. So hold up, guys. Just a minute. All right. So yes. Now I was making reference to the start of October as when these effects started to kick in, and so far we're having very good results. Now, the win rate sits around 56%. Personally, I like that to go up a little bit. I'm aiming for somewhere around 70 to 80%. That's the peak I'm looking forward to. Like I said before, the goal is to reduce the drawdown as much as possible, right? I'm not so worried about the gains. Of course, I'd love to see some gains, but the drawdown, right? How bad can it get? That's what I'm focused on. Because it's like continue to say, the system is built for huge capital. So the more I can trace down the drawdown, the better the system will be at receiving more allocations. You understand? So that's my focus. That has been my focus. So again, is why I would always stick to the plan. I will always be disciplined. I cannot make any mistakes. I will not just chase a trade because I want to make money off of the trade. Like, I don't do any of those things. And again, yeah, so far so good. Even this year, the win rate sits at 63%. That's why I said this is good. But I'd like to see it go a bit higher. Now I still have about I think 5 running trades, and I'm up in profit. I am up about, let me see. Yeah, just about five, just a little bit up above 5% in profit, which is good. Now, if I was to close all of these trades in profit, of course the win rate would be so much higher. But that's not the point. I like to see these trades hit, take profit, and things like that. So I want to see the win rate maybe in the next few months, see what it would look like, and see if it can really get up to the mark I am looking to keep it at. So again, so far so good. We're doing really well. This is interesting, and one of the reasons why, like I told you guys before, I was always hitting for the live sessions to come onto the free community, right? That's why we kind of like switched to the free community, because I've always wanted you guys to see this yourself, and it's beautiful that you guys are seeing it, because we started these live sessions for the free community sometime in December. I think towards the end of December, and we've been very consistent. We've come on here week in, week out. We discuss trade ideas. We speak about different stuff about trading, and you see all these trades beforehand. You see most of these trades well beforehand. How we plan it, how we take it, how long it takes, and then it plays out. And it's beautiful to see that you're seeing the returns yourself. Like, you're not, someone did not tell you. You're seeing it live because you are consistent in the live sessions, and it's just beautiful. Not just that I'm doing it, but I can show you that it is possible and it can be done. That nothing makes me happier. And again, look at the number of the time frame or the time span that these trades have taken, right? They take time to play out. And this is a point I made sure to highlight, that without patience or discipline, it's impossible to hold these trades. It's just quite impossible to hold these trades. So 149 days, 149 days. I think the longest trade so far is still Joe NZD. But still, these trades take time to either play out or even stop out. So you see that my biggest asset, or the biggest advantage I have here, is patience and discipline. Okay, without these things, this system will not thrive. So it's just, if you want to trade the system, it's just something you need to have. I call them non-negotiables. You cannot negotiate your way out of these things if you want to stay consistent and profitable. But yeah, so far so good. Another thing I'd like to point out is, so if you were managing a 500K account, this is $70,000 in what, less than 4 months of trading, just just trading and holding trades. That's it. Managing a portfolio, basically. And if you are to look at where's that? So, right, that's like 37% since January of 2024, and that's about $185,000. Now, think about this, right? This just goes to prove what I've said, that you don't really need to make so much, you just need more capital. Okay, again, the point is just reiterated because think about it, this is just 37% in 16 months, and all you need to do is just manage 500k consistently. That's it. Raise your capital up to that point using top terms or whatnot, and do this consistently. You will make so much money. Sorry guys, my connection is being a mess today. But yeah, I hope you guys can hear me though. But just to go at the point,
Yes, we can hear you.
okay, cool. So just to go at the point I was trying to make, it's like I was trying to help you guys see that the returns you're seeing there are returns from a 5k risk, like from a perspective of risking $5,000 per trade. Now, as the account is growing, this is not a case of where maybe it gets to 600k and then the risk goes up to 6k, because then the returns will be amplified. So the returns you're seeing are just from a fixed amount of risk you get. So those returns are just purely off of one risk. They're not I'm not increasing risk as the account grows. It's just that. So this just again goes to show you that you just need to manage more and be consistent. So the first thing you're looking at, the first thing you need to look at as a trader is, are you consistent? Okay, can you return profits consistently? That's the first thing. Once you figure out that you're consistent, you then need to work on increasing your capital, because again, 37% is big and it's small. It just depends on how much capital you're working with. You get. So it is so important, right? It is just so important to first of all treat that aspect of consistency in your capital, and things are just much more easier from that point. So I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. If you do, fine. Let's take that. Any questions? Okay, Yusuf, did you have a question?
Yeah, actually, thank you so much for all your lessons and everything. It has really been enjoyable, to be honest. So, and yeah, I've been hanging around with you for some time. Even though I'm in school, all this commitment and all, I've not been able to follow up. So, but yeah, about account sizes, and so this is a major part of my challenge in terms of trading this system. I don't know, I discussed with you sometimes back that I have like is a course that I've been doing, and they teach something like this, but because I don't have opportunities in terms of cash, I see it's not worth it having maybe a $200 account. But right now, what I'm planning, since I'm schooling here, so which you know about, so recently I just put like $500 to my trading account, and I'm thinking that okay, maybe every month I can just keep putting $500, and like continue learning. And so what will you think would be a reasonable? Okay, here one major question I want to ask is, so last week I wanted to place a trade on GBP NZD, and I could not place that trade because the account was too small. So maybe for leverage reasons or so. So, and that was really painful with the fact that the trade is even going into solid profit. So what do you
Sorry,
see as
sorry,
a solid?
you could not
Yeah, I could
place
not.
pound NZD.
Yeah, yeah,
Why?
yeah. GBP. I don't know. Maybe
What's
it's like very volatile. So the stop loss range is so wide. Maybe 11,000 something. So I was not able to use if I want to risk. Normally, I do risk $50 on every trade. So far I'm taking it from.
what's the name of your broker, please?
I'm using Xness. So
You should
but I
be able to
tried
find
that. I tried that on liquid brokers. It's same thing. I could not place the trade because I had one small prop firm account that I was just playing with. So, but I could still not place the trade because I think the pips range is so wide that I cannot use tiny lot size lights, maybe 0.01 or 0.02. And my goal for the account is like to see my consistency, like you said, over time. I'm not really interested in the money. So looking at trades like gold or silver in the future, I'm fearful that I might not be able to place it, or trades indices or those trades that could be having wide. Um, or do you think this is a problem from my broker? Would you advise me to trade somewhere else?
That's what
So
I was trying to look at pound NZD and the stop loss. Now, mind you,
yeah,
when I think I have to include the stop loss range whenever I'm sending out the trades, because you see the chart I'm using is from Intercontinental Exchange, right? So
yeah.
the pips is different. What you see on my chart is not pips, it's points. You get. So when you see 3,000, like for example, if you come down to pound NZD, right?
Okay.
So sorry, let me see if I share this part of my screen. Okay, this guy's up now. So from my chart, pound NZD is actually 3,772 points,
Current
which is
price.
point. No, from my entry point, right?
Okay, okay,
Which is actually 377 pips. That's about $40 worth of risk, or 37. It depends on about that, just in that range. So actually, you should be able to take it. You get, but I think you kind of miscalculated the pip range. That's why it felt like it was too much, because you can't actually take
oh,
pound and or you could at the time, but I think because of the way the pip count was showing,
okay,
you
okay. Maybe because I was using it from the ICE, so I could have went to a
no no
broker like
no
Oanda or something.
and still use ICE. The difference is when you just know that whenever you see the numbers in 4 digits, those are points, it's not pips. So if you see
Okay,
3,000 points, that's 300 pips you get, and 300 pips is not
okay.
bad, you get. So I think that was the
Yeah,
difference. That was
yeah,
giving the
yeah.
confusion, because I actually did take that on a small account as well, and it's going well with 0.01
Oh,
as well. So yeah, it's not really a problem. It's not supposed to be a problem. So I think
okay.
it's that
Because
that little adjustment is what caused the confusion. So I'm just letting you know, just so that next time you know how to handle
okay,
that.
okay. Yeah. Thank you. That makes sense. Thank you. So, what will you consider like a okay when I get to so amount in account size, I can hold on to that and look like track down my consistency, or does it make sense to keep putting like $200, $500 just to keep accumulating with the profits? I don't know. Yeah, I
So
know
here's
it might be my decision, but I just want to maybe get from your advice or something.
okay. So here's what I'll say. All right. Hold up. Here's what I'll say. Um, Actually, I would prefer that even while you're trying to raise capital, okay,
Yeah,
that you also have a proper account. Okay, the reason is so that you can take all the opportunities. Because I understand where you're coming from, where you might not take gold because gold is volatile as shit, right?
yeah,
Gold, some indices as well. So
yeah.
I would also it would also be nice if you have a proper account. The thing is, you just need a proper account that you know would last. Like,
And yeah,
yeah, may not
that's my problem with prop firms. That's my problem with prop firms because even as at yesterday night, I was considering buying a prop account. They were doing 50% bonus or something. but still I could not buy it because you just wake up one day, you have been holding trades for 6 months, struggling, and they will just crash out. So that's a problem. I have some trust in FTMO because they have been around for over 10 years or so. So maybe that's a place you may also recommend, or maybe you have better ones in mind. Yeah. So what do you think about that? That's just my problem with prop firms in general.
So yeah, same thing. I think we are looking at the same thing. All right, we're looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
If you can get an account with FTMO or maybe Swift funded, fine, do that. Okay, because I'd love you to have a bigger account so that you can take all the opportunities. It would not be fine that
Yeah.
you're seeing an opportunity and so yeah, get an account. I hope you can hear me.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, so if you can, yes, get an account, okay? An account from FTMO or Swift Fund, any of these accounts, or liquid brokers, like you said. Get an account, maybe a small account if you wish, and then just take all the trades that are coming up and then track your progress. Do that. Because you see, when you're trading your personal account, you're not only trading to track your progress, but you'd also feel inclined to grow your account. So that's why I said you want to do both alongside. But now you can't really track your progress well if you can't take all the opportunities you get. And right now, because of your account size, you can't do much of that because you can't take opportunities on gold, on silver, and the rest of them. So to track your consistency better, get a proper account because on a proper account you can take everything, right? So I think that's like my advice. Although now get an account that can offer you access to all all trades because some prop firms don't offer certain instruments, right? For example, I think some prop firms don't offer was it France 40? I think one of the prop firms didn't offer France 40 at the time. And some prop firms don't offer exotic pairs. Okay, so personally, I'm looking to get into exotics. I'm not rushing it yet, but I'm looking to actually add exotics to my portfolio like real time now. And that's not something I've done before. So again, I'm not rushing it. Okay, I don't want this to just adjust the result to my portfolio, but like, that's by the way. But the point is, get an account that can give you as many instruments as possible to get. That just gives you a better opportunity. So I think that's my thought on it. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, thank you so much. That makes sense.
All right, that's okay. So
But to
yeah,
be very honest, I don't know. I'm
okay.
just very scared of all these prop firms. But I know life is risk. I'll just like take a risk. I don't know if you know of Willis Capital. He's a Nigerian guy. He just started this prop firm maybe around last year. So,
Nah,
but
nah.
my problem with that prop firm now is that just last week they changed their name, and this is how they start. They just changed their name to W Funded, and he's now saying that we are now this prop firm is bigger than that for Willis now, which is giving me some sort of concern that okay, now you changed your name, very soon you'll be changing the board, and at the end of the day you say that you are not doing anything with them again. That the company is not for you. So as at yesterday, they are
Yeah,
on 50%. They are on 50% bonus. I almost clicked the button to buy the account, but I was still having this doubtful mind that these people, I don't just understand. And even the sway funded, I got an account with them last week or so, or last 2 weeks. I cannot imagine that they sent me a like that I lose the account because I was even in profit. I've never saw something like that in my life. I was in profit and they said I failed this thing. Why? Okay, because my profit was, even though I was in profit, my profits came back down, and so I did not follow the daily. So my own belief normally is that you have to be in loss from, like, the initial capital has to come down before they can say that you lose an account. So maybe I did not really read this thing, but it was really painful that I was in profit and you guys said I still lose an account. It's not done.
Oh,
So, like, I was in
oh,
profit and they said I lost an account, which is very
yeah,
insane.
yeah. I
So I
understand.
don't know.
I think maybe you can reach out to me. Let's see what really happened. But some prop firms, they offer equity based daily drawdown, right?
Yeah,
So this way it gets
I think that was what happened, but I was not very
exactly.
aware of that because
Yeah,
generally I used to buy prop firms in the past, even though I slowed down recently. I just feel like it does not make sense. Why would I be in profit and you guys will say I lost an account? The account
now
was 25K account. I was up 26.5 and the account dropped back to 25.9 or something, and they sent me
yeah.
I just, if I had just
So
put that money inside my Xnet account, I would still be in control of my money. But anyways,
yeah,
that could be my fault not paying attention. But still, I just feel like those pro firms are just running around for their own personal this thing. I don't know.
no, true, true. We understand that some prop firms some prop firms are it's funny. We understand that some prop firms don't want the success of traders. But again, if that was in their rule, like I know that some prop firms have equity based drawdown, a daily drawdown. So if that was in their rule, then it's not really your fault. You get, so it's just something you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
watch. Then, like you said, to some extent it doesn't really make sense because this is also a content I have because this the second system I'm trying to build, right,
Yeah.
is a much more volatile system, and I would not like a case where, like for example, in this last past week, I saw a pullback of 5%. All right,
Imagine. Yeah.
pullback, yeah, exactly. On Thursday, I saw a pullback of 5%. So, but today, as of this moment, the system is up 10%. So between Thursday and today, there was a pullback
Mm-hmm.
of 5% and an increase of 10%. You get. So
Mm.
my point
Yeah.
was that if that system was running on a prop firm that has an equity based drawdown, that system would have breached, like the account would have breached. But now that account would have been up 10% if it wasn't equity based. So it's just you just need to know the system you're trading and the account type you can use. So the best bet for you is to use a balance based account for like
Okay. Okay.
drawdowns, exactly, because balance based is only when you lost the trades, like the only when the trades are closed that they can say you
Okay.
breached.
Yeah.
Exactly. If
Yeah.
the trades are still running, if they're still running, then you don't really have a problem. So you just need to be sure of what account type they offer, and that just saves you the stress.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Well, I'm hoping that Sway Funded will last for some time, since with the fact that Mama is also like promoting them. So let's see. I will look into that.
Yeah,
But
they
that's it.
should.
That's it.
They should. But then I was planning to get an account with them, but now you said they're using equity based. I have to check that, right? Because
Yeah, please. I think they have a balance based one, but you have to pay. They have to pay something. So
oh,
I was not really interested in that because I did not really understand what that means. So I just feel like, oh, I don't
okay,
need a fixed base. Why do I need a fixed base? It's not that I want to over risk or something. I just want to do the normal thing I used to do. And I was up like 8 or 9%. So my trade dropped the same day. So they said my account was like 26,005, but now it's now 26,002 or
mm,
something, which it does not make sense. Yeah, but
yeah, I understand.
still, it's their rule. It's their rule. So I will just take that loss. Thank
I
you.
understand.
Thank you. Thank
I
you
have
so
to
much.
check that. Yeah, of course, you're welcome. But thanks
Yeah.
for that information too, because we're planning to get an account publicly, but I have to check that first and make
Yeah,
sure.
please check.
Um,
Please check.
yes, I definitely
Yeah,
will.
I can even send you my email, the breakdown of their
Yes, please,
explanation. Yeah, I will
please
send
do.
it to you on Discord. Yeah.
Please do.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Any other questions just before we wrap up?
Hello, sir.
Yes, promise. Go ahead.
No, it's not a question. I was just wondering about this prop firm, and I found something online. If Mr. Yusuf would be interested, is a website called Prop Firm Match. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have.
they
Yes.
do research on prop firms.
Okay.
So, and the reviews on them are from people that have used it from India, Nigeria, and the rest of the world. So I think you can go there and check, and you can even search for the prop firm that Sway funded, and
Okay.
search there and do research and check if it's actually recognized, because they have a list of prop firm that is recognized and that will actually pay
Yeah.
from
That makes
Okay.
that
sense.
website.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. I'll check that. Thank you.
Okay. Hold
Yes.
up. Hold up, though. You also still need to be careful about that. Now I'm not trying to bash any prop firms, but there are some prop firms on there that are not exactly the best still. So, um, even though profit match is good, I understand. I've checked for profit match from time to time, but still, we have to be careful. Now, I think your best bet, right? Your best bet is just go with FTMO, right? Just go ahead with FTMO. It saves you the stress. Or better still, um, you can use Swift funded, all right? But FTMO is like the best bet if you ask me. All right, if
Yeah.
you ask me.
Yeah. That I have that same opinion. FTMR. They have really tried. They have really tried.
That's what I think. So, but yeah, profit match is good. I'm not denying that. But some of the problems there are not really the best. Like again, you need to search for these problems individually, not just on problem match, because all the information is not there. You get. There are some firms on there that have like very fishy rules that you need to go on the website to see. Like if you don't go on the website, you won't find it. So these are things you also need to be careful of.
Yeah. There's a link to their websites on each prop firm.
Yes,
After the review,
yes, I
then
know
they will
that.
now give you the link. Yeah.
Yes, I know that. No, they are good. I'm not denying they're not good. They are good, of course. And they also have like some discounts. They also have like some packages. Like I know them really well. But yeah, and like I said, I'm just trying to make sure because I myself am planning to come back in. So I'm trying to make sure of the firms. I don't want to have like what happened last time to repeat itself. So I'm just making sure that any firm I'm trying to use has to be like a top firm, a firm I expect to last longer and things like that. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So, yeah. Any other questions just before we wrap up? Okay. Um. All right. So, in the absence of any questions, then this is where our session will end this evening. Thank you guys for showing up, and of course,
Yeah.
our sessions now are so important because the market is really fast and volatile. So it's important that we meet together, discuss the market to know what's going on. At the end of the day, that there's nothing too crazy, right? Because our risk management is there, our trades are still running. All we have to do is just manage the trades properly. That's about it. So once again, thank you guys for showing up. And yeah, the bootcamp is still coming up this month. A review of our journals as well is coming up. I think maybe by the end of this month because I'm hoping you guys are still tracking your trades. And I want to give you guys time so that you can have enough trades in your journals before we can now speak about it. You get so the journal is coming. The review of the journal is coming up. The bootcamp is coming up. You know, fine things are much on the way. So again, thank you guys for showing up. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you on Thursday. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so
Thank you, sir.
much. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. You're welcome. All right. Stop recording. Let's see.